Hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. For those coming across the channel for the first time, my name is Daniel. I share everything UK immigration, transition into tech, and personal finance on this channel. So do well to hit on the subscribe button to join the amazing growing family. So there's this new trend now among immigrants living in the UK, and the trend is called Japada. And the whole idea basically is people are beginning to move back to their home country, and there's been lots of videos going across different social media platforms encouraging other people to do exactly the same. And I think it's important for us to give a bit of context to this whole wave of Japada returning back home for different reasons. Now, in as much as the same people sharing, I even saw a video on TikTok of a lady saying she feels more at peace now that she's back to her home country. She feels less stressed. I mean, her skin is now glowing. I mean, she was saying a whole lot of positive things about returning back to her home country, which is fantastic, which I'm really happy for her. I'm glad she has this positive feedback to give for returning back to her home country. However, it's really important for us to understand what led to some of those decisions before people start making that move. I mean, there are lots of content creators, those who are very active on social media, who are using their platform to promote the whole Japada movement of people moving back to their home country. Now, I'm not against that particular flow, but it's important to understand the situation of these individuals before you also make that decision to want to return back home. Now, some of them establish the fact that they had years of plans before they eventually make that decision. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I had a chat with someone I think 3 days ago or thereabouts, and she was like, "Oh Dan, I'm going back home. I mean, there are lots of people who are returning back home and it looks like they're fine. I think I'm just going to return back home with my family." And the first question I asked was, what led to this decision? Why did you come up with this conclusion? And she was like, "I've got 18 months left on my post-study work visa and it doesn't look promising I'm going to get a job, so I'm just going to return back home." And she stopped putting in the effort to trying to get a job that would sponsor her in the UK. And this is because of the flow of people are saying, "Oh, it's a good thing to go back home. You cannot build wealth as an immigrant in the UK. You cannot be 100% comfortable here. You always be an outsider in the country," and all of those stuff. And yeah, I understand that perfectly fine. However, one thing we don't understand is that most of those individuals who are making this sort of claims, they've been able to find a way to settle themselves here before returning back home. Now, I know two of those content creators who share this old Japada movement. Now, one of them is already a British citizen. Our children are citizens already. They've got a property here in the country. They've got two properties here in the UK that pays them monthly. Now, one of them even mentioned in one of our videos that they've got a residential property and a buy-to-let property that pays them well. And while they were living in the UK, they already rented out the residential one. So the point I'm making basically is that these individuals are going to constantly earn in British pounds while they live in Nigeria spending naira. Now, even if they don't get to work back home, they have enough income to at least meet their basic need. Now, and this person that was telling me that she wants to go back home, Now, she has been very stressed with childcare. She hasn't really been working a whole lot. She doesn't even have enough savings. She doesn't have any property here. And she's trying to make the exact same decision someone that is a citizen already, someone that has properties here in the UK, are actually making. Now, make it make sense to me. It doesn't really make any sense. Now, I understand. There's even one of these content creators that mentioned the fact that, oh, she went back home, she's feeling better back home. And after some, trust me, social media people will investigate in your life if you're someone who is always out there. Now, after so much investigation, it's discovered that she has only been in the UK for 2 years and she returned back home, meaning obviously she hasn't gotten a British citizenship or indefinite leave to remain in the country. And the major reason why she went back home is because she couldn't get a job that would sponsor. That was the only reason why she went back to her home country. She didn't get a job that would sponsor and she was stressed about it. She couldn't work a whole lot because of the new child they've got, and she just decided to go back to the home country. Now, all of the videos she's making, in my opinion, I think is just a way to make her feel good about her decision. Not because, I mean, of course she might be happy, but I just feel she's making those videos because she wants to feel good about the decision of her going back to the home country, and then trying to, encourage other people to do exactly the same thing. See, for anyone that leaves the UK for a valid reason, say they've put in years of plans to want to relocate back home, they must have had a whole lot of things put into place. And that's the set truth. Now, aside from those who have already got their citizenship, they decide to go back home, and then they can choose. I mean, if anything gets too stressful for them back in their home country, all they need to do is to book a flight and they're back in the UK. They've got properties, they've got earning in pounds that can help them settle down here without any issue. I mean, they can even ask one of their tenants to, leave, give them some notice to leave, and they get back into the UK without any hassle because they've got the citizenship already. Now, but for those who don't have citizenship that still decide to go back home, some of them have got years into this plan. I've got one person that relocated back home a few weeks ago, and this person knew that it was going to be difficult to get. I mean, he was there for about 4 years. He knew that it was going to be difficult after spending 2 years in school and that 2 years on post-study. He knew it was going to be difficult to get sponsorships, and what he did was to plan to return back home. Now, what this guy did was that he was working back to back during the post-study, and as we all know, if you're on the post-study work visa, you're not restricted to how much hours you can work. You can work as much as you want. Now, what he did was he was working back to back. They were working back to back while they were on the post-study work visa, in order to raise enough capital for them to start their business back home. And that's why when he got back to Nigeria, I mean, even before he got back to Nigeria, the same exact day he landed, he was already jumping on business meetings because he had built up that system before he left the UK. So please, if you're planning on Japada, if that's the right word to use, please make sure you have enough plan. Because to me, I mean, just make it make sense to me for someone who had, spent millions of naira, practically, sold their properties, sold their asset back home, and spent tens of thousands of pounds, running in tens of millions of naira, and only for you to finish your program and you're like, you ought to go back home. Does that even make any sense? Do you get what I mean? So I understand if going back home is the last resort, you couldn't get a sponsorship, you couldn't get a right to live and work in the UK. That makes sense. Of course, if you have to go back, you have to put in a whole lot of plan to that decision so you don't get stuck, so you don't have to start from level 0 when you get back to your home country. So it kind of makes sense. So I'm not against going back to your home country. Probably for someone like me at some point in my life, I might end up going back, but there are some things that need to be checked before that decision can be made, if that makes sense. So if you haven't checked those things and you don't have any choice, you have to go back home, understandably. But like I mentioned in one of my previous videos about exit plan, make sure you have a plan in place. Don't make the system force you to make a particular decision. So even if the system doesn't allow you to achieve what you want to achieve, have a plan to doing something that will still benefit you as an individual, as a family, and whatever. So please, before the whole Japada movement start going so strong, people being further encouraged and being propelled to wanting to go back to their home country, please, if you're going to make that same decision, make sure you have adequate plan in place. So yeah, I just woke up this morning and it really was heavy in my heart to talk about this whole Japada movement that is really going on at the moment. And please, so many of these people that are saying the old Japada movement, many of them have other plans. Now I'm going to give you one last instance. I know someone that is all about, I just relocated back to Nigeria, I'm back in my home country, but people don't know that this same person just got the permanent residence in Canada. They're only in Nigeria for a couple of weeks before they move to Canada, and they're already making look. I mean, I just saw that video last night talking about how they feel at peace being back in Nigeria, and it seems that in a few weeks they're moving to Canada. So please don't take everything you see on social media to the letter. They only share what they want you to see, not exactly what is the 100% picture in their life. Please, so don't make any decision. You'll be surprised. I know some people say in the comment that, why will you make a decision based on what someone is saying on social media? You will be surprised how people actually make a decision based on what they say on social media. Please, let's make sure we have all of this information right before making a long-term decision. I've seen people who come on my one-to-one session who have been here 10 years ago, and they also did the old Japada thing, and now 10 years later they're back again from that same level they were 10 years when they first came. So please make sure you put putting loads of things into consideration before making that decision. Anyway, this video is longer than I expected. This will be the end of the video. If you're coming across my channel for the first time, hit on the subscribe button. My returning subscribers, you guys are amazing. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. So this will be the end of the video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you.